to the Principal Secretary, to the project directors and the team PBSSD speaking to us. And after that, when Mr. Shubhayu Basu from the department will start moderating the program with you, the interactive meet with the industry heads, you can one by one unmute yourself and ask questions or interact with the department directly. But till then, we would request all the joinees, all the participants to kindly keep yourself in a mute mode. If you got any issues, if you want to ask any question, you just put it up in the chat box or in the chat option which you have. And I have got a team from my Bengal chamber which is headed by Ms. Shauna Lidhor, Ms. Rajashri Mukherjee, Ms. Shorbani Sheth, Ms. Amrita Mukherjee, and Mr. Devjit Ghosh. You can just write down your queries in the chat box and they will be able to help you out through the chat box itself. I'm just waiting for the instruction from the department. With their permission, we shall immediately start our today's session.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Basu. Shall we start our today's session?
Yeah. Have you joined, like all the participants?
Yes, participants have joined and there are still more participants who are joining us. I think if we can start off with our introductory addresses, by the time we come to the main part of the program, everybody will be joined in. So that we
I'm just waiting for Principal Secretary Sir joins.
I think Sir has joined. We can see one PR Secretary. Okay, we shall wait for Principal Secretary Sir to join us.
Sir joined. Sir joined.
Yes. So with everybody's permission, can we start our today's session, interactive meet?
Shukanadi, please proceed. Sir said.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Shukarna Bosch. I represent Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I welcome you all formally to our today's interactive meet on Industry Talk on RTD model and skilling. The Bengal Chamber is happy to be associated with the Department of Technical Education, Training and Skill Development, Government of West Bengal, in organizing this meet. For the ease of the session, we would like to initially request you to keep yourself on a mute mode, except the speakers of the session, so that we may follow the session carefully. But during the industry interactive session, which will be moderated by Mr. Shubhayu Basu, you can unmute yourself one by one and share your kind opinion. In case you have any query, you may write it in the chat option. My colleagues from the chamber, Ms. Rajashri Mukherjee, Ms. Shorbani Sheth, Ms. Amrita Basu, Ms. Shauna Lidhor, and Mr. Devjit Ghosh can be approached via chat in case of any query. May I now request the co-chairperson of the Skill Development Committee of the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry to give a formal welcome address on behalf of the chamber. Mr. Meghdut Roy Chaudhary, please.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. The interactive session on RTD is an innovative and first of its kind initiative by the Skill Committee of the Bengal Chamber in association with the Department of Technical Education, Training and Skill Development, Government of West Bengal. It aims to address the need of dynamic and demand-based system recruited training and deployment planning in order to achieve an effective and efficient skill ecosystem. With the existing networks and resources of the Bengal Chamber, especially amongst the various industries in the state, and not just today, for many years now, we at the Skill Committee, at the Skill Development Committee of the Bengal Chamber, would love to contribute to the upskilling of the human resources of the state. For this, it would be imperative to take the requirements from all the industries first, sign MOUs with them, and then train the students accordingly. Of course, it's needless to say that since the beginning of the lockdowns and since the COVID-19 pandemic having hit the state and the whole world altogether, it is already forcing us to think outside the box and to think of new ways of training, because of course the kind of skills that were required before are changing. The skill requirements in terms of innovative skills is going to increase, and we feel that as a jointly with the skill development department and with the skill development committee of the Bengal Chamber of Commerce, we can do wonders in harnessing all our resources and networks together to develop the skilled manpower in the state. Needless to say, the programs at the level of the ITIs and vocational training centers will be mapped with the skill sectors of the NSDC, and we will be submitting a complete IRC and RTD proposal for the same to the Department of Skill Development very shortly. With that, I would like to say that it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this interactive session. We're very happy to have the participation of the entire HR fraternity of West Bengal and are eager to have a one-on-one interaction with each one of you. My name is Meghdut Roy Chaudhary. I am the co-chairperson of the Skill Development Committee and also the Director of Global Operations at Techno India Group, which is one of the largest education management groups in the country, as most of you might already be aware. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my great pleasure to interact today with Shri Anup Agrawal, IAS Principal Secretary, Department of Skills and Government of West Bengal, Shri Randhir Kumar, IAS Project Director, PBSSD, Government of West Bengal, along with their teams and industry experts. I shall request Mr. Shubhayu Basu, State Project Manager, Industry, PBSD, SSD, Department of Technical Training and Skill Development, Government of West Bengal, to moderate this session on behalf of the department, and shall request him to take over this industry interactive session shortly. In the meanwhile, may I take this opportunity to welcome Shri Anup Agrawal, IAS Principal Secretary, DTET and SD, Government of West Bengal. Mr. Shubhayu Basu may introduce the participants to Sir one by one before Shri Agrawal addresses the industry representatives. Thank you very much, and on behalf of the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industries Skill Development Committee, it's my honor and pleasure to be part of this today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Meghdut.
Thank you, Meghdut, for a wonderful introduction. And I would like to welcome Principal Secretary Sir, Anup Agrawal Sir, Randhir Kumar Sir, our Project Director, all the officials and from BCC and I, and all the HR fraternity. I would like to thank that they have joined on very short notice. Like, this meeting has been scheduled very rapidly. So I would like to thank one by one every industry representatives who are present here. So representatives from Eureka Forbes, SNIB Services, Lexus Motors, Super Smelters, GCPL, D Sarvani, Group of Hotels, Wow Momos, Vistech Informatics, ITC Infotech Limited, IBM Limited, Aditya Birla Fashion Retail Limited, Metro Cash and Carry Limited, Infinity Infotech Parks Limited, Exide Group, Transys Technologies, Chloride Metals Limited, Green Park Industries, CESC, Imami, then O2 Spa, Trust Club, India Power Corporation Limited, Wipro, VLCC, Bridget Jones Salon, Dr. Paul's, Dalmia Siemens, Wipro, Fusion BPO, Globson, Aim High, Segura, TCS, OK Call Center, Aegis, and definitely this effort will not be completed if I will not thank NASSCOM and BW and SC, like Beauty and Wellness Sector Skill Council, and definitely BCC and I, Bengal Chamber of Commerce, who organized this RTD model discussion. Now, the thing is that we would like to specify like what is RTD model is all about in this. So there would be a short presentation on this, and then it would be a common open house discussion, like what industry actually expects, like what should we do for industry to implement this creative model. And then industry may tell that specifically, like these are the overheads, like these are the issues they are facing in hiring and all the things. So this would be a completely dialogue session. Rather being a monologue, we would be going into dialogue phase. So thanks all that you all joined on this webinar. I would like to invite Principal Secretary Sir Anup Agrawal Sir to say some words on this session. Thank you.
Hello, am I audible? Am I audible? Okay. Good afternoon, friends. Thanks for arranging this meeting and thanks for joining this web meeting. The COVID pandemic has really created a lot of issues in terms of organizing face-to-face physical meetings. But the alternative of meeting on internet is not that bad, although not as efficient as a face-to-face meeting would be. We are able to connect to many people who may not find it convenient to attend a face-to-face meeting, so that way the participation increases in web meetings. And I hope we are able to deliberate on the issue which we are discussing effectively on this. There are certain restrictions or constraints in web meetings, and we would abide by those, rather, since the camera and the microphone are the main sensors. So if we switch on the microphones, then concerned persons, even slightest noise comes as a trigger, and videos are displayed. So as suggested initially by Sukanya, we should all follow the discipline. About this RTD model, this has been in discussion in the department for some time, and this is the first time we are interacting with the industry. I would not give my idea about what I feel RTD would be, but listen to what the presentation or the presenter is going to say, and maybe if required, I'll add after that. We in the department and PBSSD, under the department, we are working for creating workforce which can be utilized and employed by the industry, or they can be self-employed also. And our main focus is on the job readiness and placement of the trainees which we train. There are a lot of areas where we can improve in terms of placement. Side by side, we also feel that industry always is in need of trained and skilled manpower, and they are looking for them. They even hire consultants to identify such skilled people, and consultants are not free. So industry on one side is spending money on identifying right skilled people, and the department or the government is spending money for training right type of people who can be placed in the industry. So if we join hands from the very beginning, then it is a win-win situation, not only for the industry and the department, but also for the trainee, because the trainee knows from the very beginning where he or she is going to be placed. That is what I would leave the thought here. We'll listen to the presentation, and then maybe if need be, I'll come back in. I would request all of you to please share your views when you are asked to freely. Although this meeting is being recorded, so we have to be parliamentary in our discussions. But we should not be unfrank. We should be frank. It is not that you displease or please the government. That kind of feeling should not be there. We are ready to listen to whatever comments you have to offer. I'll stop now. Request Suvayu to take this forward.
Thank you, sir, for such nice words. So, going ahead, what we will be doing, we are inviting Mr. Prashant Sinha, who is a national skill development expert and has worked with Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship also. So a first phase would be like, what is RTD? Like RTD stands for Recruit, Train and Deploy. So it's basically giving a glimpse to the industry, like what RTD stands for, how it's been implemented, if it's been implemented somewhere, and what is the expectation from industry, like how we can go ahead with this model. So it's a kind of introductory presentation from Mr. Sinha. So he will be presenting a presentation on this part. Then the session would be completely an open house. So we can discuss and do the things, like finalize the things on the same. So I would like to invite Mr. Prashant Sinha for the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Shibayu. Uh, all the dignitaries, Principal Secretary, Project Director, and friends from the industry. It's a very opportune forum to discuss alternate models of skilling. And I'll give me a sec. I'll just put up that presentation. I hope people can now see the presentation. Hello. Shivayu, is the presentation there?
Yeah, presentation is there. Can you please do it on presentation mode?
Got it. So, we are all aware, or people from industry, I'll just take a step back and talk about the evolution of skill development in the country. Initially, when NSDC was set up, the entire concept was that NSDC as a market development agency will fund training providers and they will do market-based paid courses. So they were initially as, equity investors or, people who are giving loans, and training providers submitted their business plan and then set up trainings in the paid model. Subsequently, government decided to intervene even in a bigger format than just incubating NSDC. So the first intervention was in form of a award-based scheme called SMART, and that ran for some time, but obviously it ran into implementation challenges. So in the next phase, which is the PMKY, the whole award-based thing transformed into an input-based incentivization. However, what happens in an input-based incentivization is people get paid as per the batches they form, as per the assessments they do. So a lot of training providers felt that it is possible to work with just 80% of the fee. The premium on placements was something that went out of the window in this particular incentivization, because a lot of training providers started working on an 80% model. And then the moment you take out placements and just stop your processes at assessment, you're really not bothered about the kind of people you are inducting in your training program. So if you don't have to place them, you need not bother whether they are right fit or not. So this partially, because of the way the things have evolved, these are, apart from whatever else good things have happened, some of these factors have also come into being. So it is now critical that, the linkages between industry and training is reestablished. And one of the ways is to create a bridge between the government programs and industry. As Mr. Meghdut Roy Chaudhary was saying, IRC is a good model to do it, and I'll come back later to explain that. But essentially what is required is we are bringing in industry to do a scaling model. It might be industry coming in directly or industry bringing in a training partner as required. But the key thing is, industry will make an upfront commitment to employ post-successful assessments. So the commitment to employ is given to the candidate upfront. Candidate is explained the salaries. Candidate is explained where the job location is. He's explained any career paths. He's explained any cash or kind varieties. So there are no confusion in the mind of the candidate is what he's entering into when he starts the program. And there's a firm commitment from the employer that should he complete the program, he will be taken on board. Also, this program may provide multiple flexibilities. When industry trains, it trains in different manners. For example, the way the whole thing is structured. So, when say Eureka Forbes trains, after 1 month of training, it requires 3 successful sales closure before that guy is absorbed on the roles of Eureka Forbes. Similarly, somebody may be doing the same course as government, say for welding or CNC, but they will be investing a lot more in consumables than a typical government program provides for. So in a welding, if the practice is not enough and the consumables are not enough, the output or the productivity benchmarks that could be reached would be pretty doubtful. So the point is that industry needs flexibility in terms of how they want to train, how they want to structure the training, what do they want to teach. Do they want it in the local setting, or do they want it in the factories, which may be somewhere else? So there are a lot of flexibilities. Do they want to assess themselves or bring a third party? Hence, all those flexibilities are something which a government program at times gets straitjacketed, and hence, those flexibilities are what is required. So, on the need side, I've briefly covered. There's a need to leverage both the government funding side, which brings down the cost of hiring for the industry, and government in turn gets a confirmed livelihood for the youth who are participating in this program. Moving to the next slide. This I covered in terms of RTD. We are looking at upfront commitment to upfront a job offer commitment. We are also looking at a complete counseling upfront so that there are no expectation mismatch, and then guaranteed placement post training, post successful completion. Now there can be multiple models in which this can be implemented. One of the model is industry associations or an industry training partner combination takes it up and does it under a government mandate. The second model is targeting big HR players like Quest Corps and all, who have who are aggregators of demand through running placement agencies. And since they have such a intense view or such a wide view of the demand that is available, why don't they integrate backward and run such kind of training programs as well, so that they can create a sourcing channel for their demand. And the third is training partner-led models, but training partners this time is coming with a back-to-back arrangement with the industry. It's not just training partner, but say if tomorrow Lemon Tree comes, because Lemon Tree has a lot of PWD candidates. So Lemon Tree has a particular training partner who trains in the Red Fox Hotel in Jaipur. And the way they train is the employee acts as a hotel guest in the morning shift. And in the evening shift, he's back to being a trainee and he learns on the job. So he gets experience on both sides of the table. So, but there is a training provider associated with them who runs this program for them. And that is a training provider industry combination that is typically required to run these kind of programs. There's also an overseas employment component to it. So we have, recruitment agents who are empaneled by MEAs. They are for everything for which a ECR check is required, they are authorized to send people abroad. So one of the things could be that, these recruiting agents do a backward integration and set up training centers. They source through this center and send people to ICC, GCC countries and other places as their strengths lie. So it becomes a sourcing channel for them to send people abroad. But given COVID, I mean, this has been attempted as well, but given that we are facing a COVID situation, it may take time for this model to re-emerge. Now, as I touched before, industry may need a lot of flexibility to train. They may not want to be very straitjacketed in terms of norms related to training structure, norms related to equipments, labs, assessment certification, the way how much of OGT versus in-house training, how to structure the OJT vis-a-vis, a typical straitjacketed form of how the OJTs should be implemented. So, and plus training can probably happen anywhere as long as mobilization happens for West Bengal youth, because the commitment of West Bengal government is towards the youth of the state. So you mobilize youth from West Bengal, but you can train them anywhere and deploy them as per your requirements. So this is kind of a flexibility that is built on in this program. There are also a lot of flexi MOU models that the Director General Training, the DGT, especially implements. It has also been tried extensively in UP and MP, where they have done a lot of flexi MOUs with the industry. Essentially, this gives them flexibility to train as they want, how they want, and the way they want it. On a top, there can be an RTD model, which in addition will require industry to give offer letters right at the commencement of the batch. Now we have kept some case studies just to give some structured flavor to whatever we are talking. The first one is SCL Tech B. Now this you see is a life cycle of training. I saw something similar when I was working with UNICEF in Sri Lanka. They have a Sanken construction company there, and they also keep a 10-year training program. You train and come as a new supervisor, go and work. 2 years later, you come back and do again 1-year training, and then you are elevated in the organization. So that whole work training combination is spread over 10 years. This Sanken does in Sri Lanka. SCL is taking the same model because now instead of taking graduates, they want to catch talent early at a +2 stage. So they're saying train with us for a year, get on board, and then you can keep your learning journey as you keep working with us. So they're integrating a learning pathway along with a jobs pathway. And this is done for entire 8-year format that they have proposed. Similarly, NTTF is a very known name. I think everybody here would have had associations. In the nearest, they run the Tata Steel ITI in Jamshedpur. So essentially, what they do is they have long-term courses. Typically, a lot of private ITIs or similar structures are what is done by NTTF. They have just now tied up with a UK certification agency. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's NION. And it's a UK certification that they have started giving at the end of the program. And the whole program is structured, customized for the industry and pretty long-term for them, a 34-month program leading to placements in the industry. So, for example, the Tata Steel ITI caters to the captive requirements of Tata Steel. The third model which we wanted to highlight was the Preja Foundation. This is a very interesting model where Government of Jharkhand, the Social Welfare Department, has done a SPV with Pan IIT. And in this SPV, the third participant is NABARD. Now, NABARD gives loans to students who take the Pan IIT courses. The outcome of that is it helps immensely in A, there's a skin of the students in the game, so they are serious about it because they have taken a loan. B, employers get to retain these students because employers deduct their loan installments directly from the salary. So if it gets deducted in 10 installments, that you are guaranteed that the student will stick with you for 10 months. And by that time, he gets accustomed to the professional rigor and continues with his career. So works beautifully because students are more committed. They have a small loan on their head. So they know that it is important, and works beautifully for the employers because they stick around for at least 10 months till their loans get repaid. And at the same time, they have an international model as well, where they're sending people to Dubai and other places. Government of Jharkhand is supporting them by giving them huge buildings, empty buildings that were supposed to be women ITIs and other places. And the whole is not, it is not implemented to RFP model, but it's an SPV where Government of Jharkhand is an equal partner. The last case study we wanted to highlight, which is closer home, where TCS has tied up with RK Mission, and they are doing a customized ATR training in English communication, and students passing out of this TCS facilitated program is absorbed back by TCS in their BPO operations. So again, just 4 different sort of examples that can be a part of a Flexi MOU or an RTD kind of a model. Now, what should be a vehicle to implement it? Industry has always been there, and so has been the TVET's ecosystem. But why is there so much of a communication gap between the two? Why are they not talking and integrating with each other? So we need a bridge to make that happen, and that bridge is in form of an industry resource center. And BCCI will be very happy to set up this industry, given their strengths with the local industries. They understand West Bengal like no others, and that is the network they have in West Bengal to make local jobs happen. So they take out the migration side of it as well. Now, in terms of needs, we discussed there's a limited involvement of industries. Typically on government programs, placements have been challenged. To improve the placement rates have been challenged. The job retention rates are even bigger challenge. Trainings may, employers may need flexibilities. They may not agree with one size fits all. And industry as such should be convinced about the productivity benchmarks that these training programs are churning out, and they should be willing to buy into the value proposition of this program. So to create this bridge, the gaps that exist, to bridge those gaps, we need a industry resource center. And essentially what this industry resource center will do is, on the output side, it will increase the placement rates. It will also, improve the apprenticeship uptake from the industry in West Bengal. It can also help in taking up special projects which are like, which are entrepreneurship driven. So if we can find entrepreneurship projects which are integrated in the corporate value chain, those can be implemented by IRC. Also, it can take up what is called in NSDC parlance, best in class RPL. So with best in class employers, it can implement RPL programs for certification of employees in those particular industries. It can also act as an outreach arm where, it is reaching out in terms of CSR conclaves, it is reaching out in terms of industry roadshows, yes, reaching out in terms of SSC dialogues. So it becomes a bit bridge, a dialogue bridge or a interaction bridge between PBSSD and the people in the industry. And at the same time, it can help improve the counseling in the entire state ecosystem, ensure that the assessment levels are as per the exit gate criteria are as per industry. It can work, in terms of getting add-on courses, finishing school courses that industry will like over and above the trainings that are delivered. So all that can be in form of input, output, and processes in between. It will work to integrate industry back in each of these aspects. Now, to run this IRC, what we envisage is obviously there needs to be a steering body under the guidance of Honorable Principal Secretary to steer the entire thing, and there's a committee that can be formed to steer it, and they will kind of manage or provide steering direction for IRC activities, give day-to-day strategic directions, as well as help them with their composition, help them with their activities, make changes in rules, applicable laws, and whatever else practices that are required. And typically the way IRC will work is it will get integrated in terms of the CEO. COORC can work with the project director and SPM concerned. And obviously it will have the various facets I've described. It will have a mapping expert, be it counseling and mobilization, be it industry connects, both nationally and internationally, experts to promote entrepreneurship through NAPS, NEEMS, and others, and expert to get entrepreneurship off the ground. And obviously they can have their arms and legs spread over 6 districts, and also work as a mentor to the district skill coordinators and the training providers in terms of helping the mobilizers of training providers and counselors of training providers to adopt best practices and give them the requisite linkages. So this in brief is our conceptualization of FlexiMOU RTD and how IRC can act as a bridge to make this happen. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I will now conclude with this.
Thank you, Prashant, for such nice and detailed presentation. Now the house is open. So I would like to request industry representatives to give a view. So let me give an example, like what exactly RTD we are just thinking of. आप लोग जो अपनी hiring कर रहे हैं, जो भी अपने freshers hire कर रहे हैं, onboard करते हैं, so what we are planning कि आप लोग अगर वो hiring जो भी है उसमें mobilization में अगर हमारा support चाह के अगर आप training हमारे through करवाना चाहते हैं, तो this would be form an RTD model. For example, जैसे अभी प्रशांत ने जो example दिया, it was an TCS and Ramakrishna Mission's example. TCS is doing this. So other bodies also can think upon, and apart from this model, various other model could be think upon. For example, VLCC is running a mega skill center, which is a kind of COE in Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. So these kind of ideas we can definitely work. Definitely we can think on, and we can definitely join hands with you. I would like to request if you have any views, like we can initiate from first ITS segment. So there are various representatives from this segment, like ITC Infotech has been there, TCS representatives are there, Wipro is there. So you all big players can state like what exactly you guys are looking for in to hire a fresher in Kolkata specifically. Sir, representative from TCS.
Hi, Pudumai here. From currently at this moment, I'm speaking from Chennai. The last year we took about 706 of them joined in Kolkata. Not just Ramakrishna Mutt, but we also work with a lot of other partners, colleges, NGOs, and 706 joined in Kolkata office alone. Besides that, we were also able to give our Bengali speaking boys and girls to other locations, to Delhi, to Pune, to Hyderabad, to even to Chennai. So we were able to move a lot of boys and girls through the same model. So and Ramakrishna Mission, we were able to do only last year about 5 or 6 batches, I believe. Rest all we were able to do through, we do have a large partnership with the various institutions. In fact, we did quite a few batches also with the Purta Bhavan, with the NILIT in Jadavpur University, so within the NILIT campus. So all that we were able to do. So roughly about 1,000, roughly about 3,000 youth were trained last year, and we would be having similar numbers this year. In spite of the fact that the first quarter we have been a little bit impacted. The first quarter we could only start just one batch, but then already a couple of more batches have started, and all of them we are doing online, and we are looking at about the same numbers. Might be slightly lower, but then I'm not seeing a big major change in it. So that's the current forecast.
So
All right. Hi, I'm from Suraj from Wipro.
Suraj, can you hold for a sec?
Sure.
Yeah, Mr. Kutumai, I was wanting to ask these 3,000 students which you kind of got trained in Bengal and otherwise, who paid for these trainings, TCS or any other partner?
TCS, sir.
Okay. So you are investing in the training and then you are hiring the people.
Correct, sir.
Okay. So in our model, we are saying we'll defray the training cost.
Okay. We can discuss it separately, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take it out separately. That's fine.
yeah, Suraj, please.
Yeah, I have, heard the entire presentation. I've gone through the presentation even, and what I understand is that this is something which we have now tried out. We can definitely look into it and how productive it would be. Without checking on it, I understand there are other companies who have already participated and have conducted this and have tried it out, and they have got successful results. But as an organization at this point of time, if you ask me, we'd like to definitely look into it and try it out once before commenting it would work, it would not work, or something like that. For us, currently the model that we work out is hire and train model rather than mm,
Train and hire model.
hire model. We have, rather than a train and hire model. So that is what is at this point of time. Without checking on it, commenting anything would be difficult. I would like to try
Suraj,
it once.
Suraj, can you please explain your current model? Like what exactly you are doing in terms of hiring the freshers actually?
Look, we go ahead and do a lot of campus and a lot of different source channel hiring. But when it comes to fresher, yes, campus is the main channel that we prefer. Right? We recruit resources which are meeting the expectation of the job description up to 70% to 80%. Rest post hiring they get into the process or a product training, and then they become productive. But over here, what I understand is that we are looking into the crowd section where we can shortlist those resumes, and then they go into a training, and then they go through a final selection round, and then maybe have understood the entire process correctly.
Suraj, one query. Like
Okay.
under this training right now, like are you doing a centralized
I'm
training?
sorry, I
Or,
can't hear you.
Suraj, one query.
Yep.
Are you training these recruits? When you're recruiting freshers, in a centralized location, or you are doing it in different locations?
Not in a centralized location. Let's say it depends. I take care of the east. So if we have a requirement in east, we train these resources in east itself. And if there is a requirement in location like Hyderabad, we have our centers out there. People get trained over there, and again, then they move to
East predominantly it is Kolkata.
Kolkata and Bhubaneswar.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. Thank you, Suraj, for an insightful conversation. Others
Uh,
may please contribute. Yeah.
this is Piyashi Banik, Dr. Piyashi Banik from Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail. So I have a question to Mr. Suraj. This is a specific question that when you are selecting the resources and sending them from for a training, like is this your own resources? Like you source the candidates and then place them for the training, or they come through Ramakrishna Mission
No, no,
selected
no,
by?
no. We go ahead and source these resources, and we place them for training.
Okay.
Ramakrishna Mission PIC is working with the TCS actually.
Okay. So for Wipro, is there any channel partner who is providing the training?
Wipro is continuously participating in our campuses as well. Their hiring processes basically through campuses mainly, and then they hire and then they train actually.
Correct.
Okay. I just wanted to know that I know somebody who has a recruitment firm basically. They're very new in the market, but they are sourcing people and then getting them placed into different companies. So in that case, can this model be of any help to those recruitment firm I'm speaking of?
Definitely, Piyashi. See, Prashant told various like permutation combinations of this model. So, if a big company is coming up with this kind of recruiting agent, and that recruiting agent is saying that we will hire on your behalf and train on your behalf, but the candidate will be getting an assured placement in the company. So, PBSSD definitely can empanel them as a training partner and could reimburse the training cost.
Piyashi, or
one of the needs of the IT and ITS companies, specifically for freshers, is the fresher channel closes by August, September. So it is then that you need to run a fresh channel that would be always giving freshers until April. So this is the window period that when IT and ITS industries look out for the freshers flow. So that's where actually these kind of trainings do come into force. In fact, now this year we are thinking that whether we can even allow other companies to come and recruit from the people whom we are already training, because I'm sure that other industry colleagues who are sitting there, they also face the same challenge. Otherwise, we need to go and hire from the laterals. So instead, we would like to go for the freshers whom companies like TCS and all we are training. We are training in abundance, and even other companies would be most welcome to. In fact, that's one of our agenda for the year, that we will be getting in touch with other industry colleagues to see that if those candidates also can be taken in. So that's one of the things we are thinking of. I'm sorry that I got into.
Puthumai, definitely, we would like to invite you as a training partner in that case. If you are just planning such things, definitely you can be our training partner in that case. So you would be empaneled as a captive employer.
Now, to the Piyashi, what you were saying, like you can be a consortium with.
Hello. Yeah. You are audible. You are audible.
Okay, Piyashi, what like different models which were being discussed. One model was aggregator-led consortium. An industry can become a partner with an aggregator. Like as you were saying that there is a new firm which is into consulting, human resource consulting. You can become a consortium partner and can get into this activity where you don't want to get your direct involvement. but the commitment has to come from you as well as from your consortium partner in terms of providing that assurance to the candidates that, okay, you know, if you get selected, you go through the training program, you successfully complete the training program as per the specifications, then you get a job, assured job at the end of the day.
Right, right. Now one more last thing from my side, that how can we get connected, like though I'm not directly involved into that company, but one of my acquaintances, so what are the sources, or can we talk offline on that?
Yeah,
Please guide me on.
we can do that offline. We can discuss in details and we can help you to actually get through the process.
Okay, so in that case, if you please share the mode of communication or any coordinates of yours, so that we can be in touch.
In the chat application, I'm sharing my mail ID. You can drop us a mail and then we can take it forward.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Saubhagyan. Now, next I would like to invite anyone else from IT/ITES segment, Globson, Fusion BPO, OK, Aegis. Anyone would like to add something?
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello, Mr. Basu. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, hi,
Yes.
this is Vikas. And this is Vikas Suman. I'm from Chloride Metals Limited, the HR lead over here for the team. We are a new company who are starting up over here as a 100% subsidiary unit for Exide Industries Limited. And we are even planning for having the recruitments done for the diploma engineers very shortly. So for that phase, we are also having the same hire and train model in which we go to the campus and do the recruitment and other selection processes. Then we have a training facility, which we are having one at Chloride Metals Limited, which is being built up over here. The other one being with Exide Industries Limited, Haldia even. We send some of our recruited joinees over there for the training, and then they come over here and join us. So I was wondering that how can we have the RTD model being deployed over here, as well as the support from Bengal Chamber of Commerce, so that this can be a very healthy build up for the recruiters over here.
Thanks, Vikas. If you just want to discuss it in detail, we will definitely have a meeting separately, and we will discuss all the nitty-gritties, what exactly you are expecting from us and what we can provide you. So we will be discuss it in separate. Definitely.
Sure, Mr. Basu. Thank you so much for that. Because those details then I'll have to forward it to my head office in Kolkata, from which the decisions are then taken off. So for that purpose,
surely we will do that.
Yeah,
okay,
Mr.
thank you.
We have also shared the mail ID. You can write a mail to us also, so that we can, be in touch and discuss on the concept and everything.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shamal.
Okay, fine. So enough for IT/ITES segment. So I'm just shifting now my focus on beauty and wellness segment. So there is VLCC, O2 Spa, then Bridget Jones Salon. So you also can add a few values to the discussion, please. Dr. Pauls.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yep.
Yes.
Hi. Yeah. So I've been listening to this entire meeting at the moment, and there is certain things that Mr. Vikas just asked you that you said you will take on privately. So there's definitely a few questions that I would like to speak to you about. That being mostly about the training and how you all would be able to have, because we do have a couple of training institutes that are around, and I would like to know how you would be doing it differently. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
So that's definitely one. And I've taken a couple of screenshots of the presentation as well to understand exactly how you are planning to put this through. So if anyone could get in touch with me, it would be great, as at the moment we are always training on the job. And platforms like this would definitely help us take that load off our backs, and allow us to just recruit people that have come with at least the basic skills. So we're looking forward to things like this coming up, and it would be great if you could get in touch with me.
Sure, Daniel. Definitely, we will get in touch with you, and we'll let you we'll discuss on this on on detailed note, like what exactly you are expecting and what institutions you do have. So if we would be having that profile, so we can just think upon like how we can join hands together.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Basu.
Okay then. Anil Dahiya ji, Mr. Anil Dahiya, Sagnik, Sagnik Poddar,
Yes,
Swarleen.
yeah, Mr. Basu.
Yeah, Mr. Anil Dahiya is not there.
In place of Mr. Dahiya, Mr. Vijay Kushwaha is there, who has joined from VLCC. Mr. Kushwaha, do you have any points on this? In case you
I
would
would like to request you to discuss the Jharkhand center, like that's a center of excellence mega center. Can you please discuss it? Hello, Sagnik.
Yeah, Mr. Basu. Yes.
Can you explain? Can you explain that VLCC model in Jharkhand?
I do not have a fair idea about this. Maybe Swarleen, if
Swarleen, if you can explain that mega center in Jharkhand.
I think we'll have to take that separately, since if somebody from VLCC can explain about it, that would be really better, because we'll have a first-hand experience on that. So maybe for this, we can take it separately, specifically for this Jharkhand mega center that you're talking about.
Sure, sure. Other experts from industries like Eureka Forbes, SNIB, Lexus Motors, anyone want to contribute something? Wow Momos.
Mr. Basu, this side Swarleen.
Yeah.
So I represent Beauty and Wellness Sector Skill Council. So one thing, first of all, I mean, a big congratulations to all the stakeholders involved in this and coming up with such an amazing model, that we can look at. And specifically to beauty and wellness industry, yes, employers have been coming to us and letting us know that the candidates you are training it are not job ready, or they are not the quality that they are looking at. So this RTD model, since it's an industry demand driven program, definitely it will help the employers to hire these candidates. Just one thing I would like to add on here, since PBSSD would also be helping the employers in the mobilization of the candidates. I think, there has to be a very stringent criteria when we talk about mobilization of these candidates. So once the candidate is mobilized, gone through the training and everything is done, and obviously they'll have a upfront recruitment or a letter of intent from the employer. So at the end of the training, it doesn't happen. So there has to be a throughput ratio that I'm talking about. So if the candidate is coming, so, at the end of the day, he or she should have the will to, actually get absorbed in the industry. So I think from that per se, mobilization per se, we'll definitely have to have a stringent criteria, stringent rules that, what candidates we can mobilize. So, I mean, I think it's something that we'll have to look at.
Yeah, certainly. This is Anup Agarwal, Principal Secretary. In fact, what you are talking is what Mr. Sinha also presented, that mobilization will play a very important part. And PBSSD or the state government is going to be in the supporting role. We would expect industry to do the due diligence at the very beginning. We can develop criteria jointly, but the industry would need to be satisfied at the time of mobilization. Whatever vetting or due diligence they want to do, they will be allowed to do. But once they agree at the time of mobilization, then the reneging of the commitment and after the training should not happen.
Right, sir. Right. Right. So definitely that thing needs to be there with the industry and right, sir. Got your point.
Mr. Kushwaha, is he from the Sector Skill Council or is he from VLCC?
He is from VLCC, sir.
He has anything to say?
I am not able to reach him. Mr. Kushwaha, are you there?
He appears on the list, but I don't know. There's no connectivity.
I think what we can do specifically for VLCC, the Spock who takes care of skilling, we can connect him with him separately later on with PGSSD on board. Yeah.
Actually, we can connect with people one-to-one, and that we will be doing. But since a lot of people are here, they would have understood what kind of models are operating. Like Mr. Sinha explained a few models.
Right, sir.
Knowledge of the people, but fair enough, we can do it separately. Mr. Poddar is trying to come in. Mr. Savinik Poddar. And may I request somebody else to please switch off their speakers? Sorry, mics, because the mic senses some noise and displays that person's name. And so disturb the meeting. Mr. Poddar.
Sir, unfortunately, your voice is echoing and it's not very clear. I mean,
yeah, you please speak. I'm asking you to speak, Mr. Poddar.
Yes, sir. Tell me. Yes, sir.
You want to contribute something, Mr. Poddar?
Sir, in terms of recruit, train, and deploy model, yes, of course, it is a very good proposition that we would, as a Sector Skill Council, we would also like to, take it up ahead with PBSSD, along with our industry partners. And I am always in touch with Mr. Shubhayu Basu in terms of this RTD model. So we really look forward for from BCCI as well and PBSSD to take it up, and we can proceed with the same, sir.
Okay, Globson wants to add something. Some
Hello.
representative from Globson. Yeah.
Hello, this is Genia. I'm recruitment head of Globson. Hi everyone.
Hey, Genia.
Yeah. So actually, we are working on AI, machine learning. So I just want to know that how we can deploy this RTD model over here that we can work.
Genia would like to inform you that Globson already hired on AI basis candidates from our polytechnics, and they are continuously hiring. Right now, post-COVID, I don't know the scenario, but pre-COVID, they were hiring continuously. In fact, they have participated in our 3 and 4 placement drives. Now, I would like to request you if you can develop this RTD kind of model, if we can, in together. Whatever candidates you are hiring, there would be some job description you have defined, and you can hire those candidates and can train in our infrastructure or in your infrastructure via our ecosystem. Definitely PBSSD can sponsor those candidates training cost. So it could be a model for RTD thing, because I know in AI company specifically, you need like a captive requirement, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we can definitely work upon on this model if you if you are interested.
Okay, sure.
So I would like to add here, and Mr. Sinha may also kind of come in. This RTD model is going to be for short-term skilling. We have long-term training in diploma for 3 years in polytechnics and 2-year courses in ITI. We are not looking at RTD models there. We are looking at specific module-based trainings, which may be from 3 to 6 months and maybe maximum 9, at the maximum maybe 1 year, but not beyond that. So that clarity we should have, and whatever skills you are looking for, If those skills can be arranged in this duration, then RTD model will work. But if you suppose you want to train a polytechnic trained candidate for short term in AI and ML, I'm not sure whether that will be part of our RTD model. We'll have to check and get back. Jinia, I hope I'm clear.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else want to contribute? Representative from Eureka Forbes, SNIB, Excite, Imami. Metro Cash and Carry, Disovani, GCPL. Anyone wants to add something? They can, please. SNIB can definitely giving us various requirement all the time. SNIB can add something. Shukonna, SNIB.
Mr. Basu?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Danielle Jones. Just one quick question, if it's possible to do now or maybe later, if you could just in brief let the beauty and wellness sector know how we could work with this RTD model. Would that be okay to do?
Yes, please. You ask.
Yeah, I just want to know if you could brief the beauty and wellness sector, how the RTD model and what everything that you have discussed today, how it would benefit us to go through with this, and how we can join hands with this particular model.
Can I take this question? Hi, I'm Saubhagi here. I'll take up this question.
Sure.
There are multiple basically there are 2 or 3 stakeholders in this entire thing. One is the industry, of course, and there is a bridge between industry and the funding agency, like whether it could be a central funding agency or a state funding agency. In this case, we are from PBSSD, so PBSSD becomes the funding, monitoring, and the entire in terms of support, whatever support in terms of like ground mobilization and all those things are concerned. But being a training partner or a industry aggregator, beauty and wellness can work out in terms of finding out who are the industry leaders who want to employ such kind of model, where what they can do is they can pick up candidates, give them an assurance, take the training either at some designated center locally, which is being operating in the state of West Bengal in different locations, or you might have a centralized location that is on-site training. And the funding, which is basically the most important part in the entire training, can be given by PBSSD through empaneling you as a partner in RTD model, so that the funding issue is being sorted out, candidates mobilization is being sorted out, and the candidates placement is being taken care of by your side. And in between, the training happens from your expertise and your knowledge. What you can do is you can customize the training program as per the latest requirement. So this is the more or less in a short the entire model is all about.
Thank you.
May I add to this? We are today having this discussion on RTD model to understand what all industry requirement would be there. Our RTD model is not yet frozen, but these are the broad contours which we are discussing today. And if you have any suggestions, any requirement which you feel is not being addressed here, which needs to be addressed in the model, you can suggest the same. This is something which we are working out right now. We are flexible in terms of defining the contours of the program, and this meeting is like a consultative meeting for that purpose.
Got it. Thank you.
Hello.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. I'm representing from SNIB. Am I audible?
Yes, Abhijita.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everybody. As you know that we do require fresh manpower, and we have been associated with this model, RTD model, for quite some time now. Now, what I wanted to ask is that apart from, like, we recruit a lot of freshers. Now, freshers, we need technical people also, and we need non-technical people also. For example, like recently we have certain requirements where we need fresh graduates with a bit of Excel and advanced Excel knowledge, and then we need some technical candidates also with the ITI background or a diploma background from electronics and telecommunication. So I would just like to know that how we can be associated with this program.
Hi, Samadrita. Basically, there are two things which you are talking about. One is non-technical background, Excel and advanced Excel kind of requirement, which is a very short-term, intervention which is required in terms of training the candidates who are from normal, what we call it, dual qualification mode, basically from different colleges. Okay, in that case, what we can do is we can facilitate in terms of mobilization of the candidates. You can conduct the interviews at different locations across the state and shortlist the candidates as per the requirement, and then train them at your site for advanced and Excel, Excel and advanced Excel, and put them into the job. When you are finalizing the candidates, you have to give them an assurance that okay, you have to undergo a training program for Excel and advanced Excel, with an assurance that once you complete the training program, assessment is over. If you successfully complete everything, you are getting a job in so and so location with so many such a benefit, which as cash and kind, whatever it is, you have to explain everything during the recruitment process itself in the beginning, when we are mobilizing the candidates and giving them the awareness about the entire the openings. It's basically industry going to the ground. We are facilitating in terms of connect to the supply of manpower. Okay, because these locations are spread across. So we are creating a bridge, and the training, if there is a cost for training for the industry, there are two costs for the industry. One is money, second is the time which you are spending of recruiting a guy and training them. So in this case, what happens is you recruit the guy, give them an assurance, and put them into training program. You reduce your training hiring, the complete hiring process, hiring cycle time is being reduced, and you get the from your projection what is the number of candidates which is required, and from the day one you are aware that how many candidates you have shortlisted, so that you can plan your business requirements accordingly. So one is that is short-term thing. Second thing is ITI or diploma students. That can be also facilitated through our, since we are representing a higher, total Department of Technical Education and Training and Skill Development, where as PS sir also told that, we are not, we are into short-term skill intervention only through RTD, but for placement of candidates from ITI or diploma background, we can also facilitate, although they may not, that may not fall into RTD model.
Okay, understood. I have another query also. We also.
Sorry, Shamadrita, just to add, so this is Debarchana from the TSA team as well. So your question is very specific, that for this particular model, which are the elements and segments that we are looking at.
Exactly.
So both the segments you mentioned are not exactly our target right now. The kind of training and industry partnership we are looking at are short-term trainings of 3 to 6 months duration in vocational trades, after which the industry takes up the candidate it has included. Okay, so neither your short-term and Excel wala thing nor your longer ITI wala thing is the focus of this particular model. However, we are working together as a department. So if you have requirement of candidates with ITI and Polytechnic background, we are happy to help you.
Thank you so much. I have another small query also. For a short-term training that we are talking about today, we also require people with a course or a training on logistics. we have a huge requirement on the logistics industry. So can anybody help me on this?
Yes, that's definitely can be a focal point, you know. So this is what we are targeting as well. So there is a number of courses under the Logistics Sector Skill Council short term. So given your requirement of the job role, we can match the trade accordingly as per the NSQF, and accordingly we can work on this logistic model. This is definitely workable.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Samajitra, I will definitely get in touch with you separately, and we will discuss like what exactly requirement do you have right now with Shukarna and BCC and I. So definitely we will be mapping that, and accordingly we will designing or drafting some solutions for the.
Sure, sure.
Fine.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to request Lexus Motor, Mr. Surajit Kumar. Sir, can you please give some insight about mechanical requirement at your various service centers of your Lexus Motors? Mr. Surajit Kumar. Requirement of floor managers, sales team. Okay. Yeah, I would like to request Mr. Sanjeev Mishra from Dalmia Cements. They are already working with us in Paschim Medinipur district, I think. So, sir, would you like to add something? Like, what experience are you facing with us? Mr. Sanjeev Mishra.
Yeah, I'm online. I would just like to share the kind of fresh recruitments that we do on a yearly basis. You see, there are two segments in this sector, manufacturing. One is the recruitments that we do at the factories, and the other one for the sales segment. And coming to the factory segment is basically the mass recruitments that we do on a yearly basis is basically the ITIs, which are basically the apprentices, and we hire them and they go through a rigorous kind of training program here. That is that module which is developed internal here, which is called ADP, Apprentices Development Program. And after a year, then they have been given opportunity in various plants as per the vacancies that arises. So that's one model that on a yearly basis we recruit around 30, 40, 50 mass hirings that we do. The other one is the fresh recruitments that we do, which is of a management background, and that too for the sales kind of role. So I was just listening to various stakeholders. So how can this RTD model is going to help us out? Probably I've heard somebody saying that it is for the ITIs. I think it is already exempted. This RTD model is not going to apply for the ITIs apprentices. I heard somebody said about it. But for the other role kind of thing, well and good. If something can be worked out, then we'll be able to work with the stakeholders.
So, Mr. Sanjeev, I'm Principal Secretary. This about exemption of ITI and Polytechnic.
Yeah.
ITI and Polytechnic, the cost of training is already borne by the candidate. It is not being borne by the employer. Here we are talking to kind of defray the expenses, training expenses, which the employers invest in the training of candidates after they hire them. So we are looking at the model where the candidates are identified by the employer before training, and those persons are trained by the institutes which are suggested by the employers to the department or BBSSD, and we impanel them, and then the employers hire them.
Okay.
This ITI and Polytechnic is not exempted from RTD model. That model is totally different. Somebody who is investing in his studies, then he's coming to the job market for getting placed. So their companies are not investing anything. We are talking about defraying the investment of the company in short-term trainings which are required for beauty and wellness, maybe which are required for sales personnel, for mechanics, etc., which are not very long-term. And secondly, about apprentice, this is one thing which I think maybe not many people know. Government of India runs a scheme for apprentices where they pay part of the stipend up to rupees 1,500 for the apprentice, and these short-term trainees are also qualify as apprentice under that scheme. So if somebody wants to implement a recruit, train, and apprentice model also, that can also be considered, that somebody whom you have identified is then trained and taken as apprentice in your company. Part of the stipend is also borne by the government as an apprentice, and we can consider that as part of our RTD or RTA model. That can also, we can consider that if people are willing in that model. And after the apprenticeship is completed, then the regular hiring, whether there are vacancies, etc., or not, then the companies can look at that.
Correct.
So when I say ITI and Polytechnic, we are not doing RTD. That does not mean that the training cost is being borne by the private sector.
Okay, understood.
Okay, I would like to request Mr. Shughanti from Excite. Would you like to add something? Ms. Shughanti?
Yeah, see, good evening to all. Actually, I was wondering how is it different from the apprentice scheme, this RTP model, how is the employer is going to take edge? See, recent introduction of non-trade, even Apprentice Act is giving us the opportunity to engage the trainees. So how is it different?
So the trainees which you are going to hire, they have to be trained in basic training by some of the institute, and this previous trainees qualify for that. Now, here what we are saying that we, right now the model which we are using is we kind of source the candidates, we train them, and then we go to the companies that you hire these people. We want to change that you identify that we will train that person.
Yeah. Okay. So we would like to, be partnering with us. How do we go ahead?
So that is what our team is routing all the people who are suggesting they want to partner, and they will get in touch with those.
Okay.
And if you have any questions on this model, which Mr. Sinha presented, if you have any additional points, you can also write to us so that when we work out this model, we keep those points in mind.
Okay. Actually, see, in between, I had a call from office, so I could not, concentrate. So I would, like to be contacted separately. So we would like to partner with this model.
Definitely, Shughanti. Definitely.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just get in touch with you and separately, and I'll share the presentation which has been shown over here.
Yes. And Vikas Suman, who is my counterpart only, we are also doing smelter project at Haldia. He had already raised, I believe, a question, so he would also like to be associated. So we have large requirements on these smelters.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Great. So it's been requested to all industry representative over here. We have shared our mail ID on the group chat. So if anybody is being interested to associate with us, just drop a one-liner. We'll just definitely get in touch with you.
Okay, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Mr. Bipul from Infinity Group, would you like to add something?
Yes, we are into different model. We are into operation and maintenance business mainly. Our entire strength is outsourced. We have around 500 people. And our vendors, they organize training. In fact, we do not organize. On our part, basically, is OJT. We can say there is on-job training that is conducted at site. Rest all it is done by the vendors only.
Okay, so do you think that anyhow we can join hands?
Sure. This will definitely help us to have a better better skilled people if we go ahead with this RTD model.
In fact, your vendors would be getting people trained. Those vendors may be sounded about this program, and they may be interested in getting people through this program, reducing the training expenses.
Yes, we can take our vendors on board, and they also be a part of the program, and we can take it ahead for better skilled people.
If you want to coordinate on behalf of the vendors, we'll be happy to talk to you.
So come again, sir. I couldn't follow.
If you are wanting to coordinate on behalf of the vendors and with the vendors with PBSSD, we will be very welcoming of you.
Sure, sir. Sure.
In fact, Mr. Ganguly, we can look at also while doing our agreements, we can look at tripartite agreement arrangements also, so that ultimately, your interest of getting the trained people on board, that gets acknowledged. So we can look at that as well.
Yes.
Okay, anyone else would like to add something? Fine. So I would like to request Shobhagu Shamul to summarize the session.
Good evening, everybody, and total discussion which has happened on RTD model, I would like to summarize in this way. The way Mr. Prashant has explained through that small PPT on RTD model, he discussed about 4 different models wherein an industry can become direct partner to PBSSD, or industry can come up with an aggregator and become a partner through a consortium. Industry can also become a partner through a training agency. It can be a consortium between a training agency and industry, or it could be like the training company can come with a backward integration with the placement agencies or the organizations where they can assure the placement for the candidates from day one when they enter into the training program. Now the entire model can be summarized in this way: the candidate gets an assurance from day one for a job. The industry gets a manpower assurance in terms of that they can reduce their total training hours, training cost, training cycle time, and the candidate who is being trained under this model is being trained on a customized module which is designed by the industry itself, so that the candidate is productive from the day one. And obviously PBSSD is in between to create a facilitating environment or ecosystem for the entire model to work, in terms of in terms of funding, in terms of creating proper monitoring and evaluation standards, in terms of facilitating any other better thing which can be incorporated wherever we feel together that yes, there are better way to execute the same thing. So PBSSD will be playing that role. And after that we had a fruitful discussion with the industry, different industry partners, and what we understood is that every industry need today manpower with having proper training, and obviously they want to reduce their cost and time in terms of training hiring the candidate and then training them, or rather put them into training from the day one, and then on the shop floor directly the candidate goes and becomes productive from day one. So as a whole, if you look at the entire model is a win-win situation for all the stakeholders. And I think if we, if any further things are, further information or coordination is required, you all are welcome to write a mail on this mail ID spmu.pbssd@gmail.com, which we would like to, take then 101 with all the interested training partners or maybe industry or consortium, whatever the model people want to continue, that is not an issue. But we would love to cater to each and every query, doubt, or any other explanation which is required on one-on-one basis. And I would also like to thank BCCI to actually get into this, bringing everybody on the same platform and discuss, create this meeting for discussion among all the stakeholders. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shobhago. Thank you, Shobhago. I would like to request Shukarna if she wants to add something. Shukarna from Bengal Chambers.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining with us, sharing your views with us. Definitely, as a Chamber of Commerce, we have been working with the department for quite a long time, and the RTD model is something that the Chamber is also looking forward to. Any query which you have as an industry, please get in touch with us. We will surely get back to you with an answer from the department and try to connect you all. With this, I want to thank our Principal Secretary, sir, for giving us the opportunity to organize this session, and to Mr. Shubhayu Basu, who moderated the entire session on behalf of the department as well as on behalf of us. And with this, I think we should conclude our today's session. Shubaida, if you want to add something at the end, you may please do so.
I would like to thank everyone, Principal Secretary Sir, then all the industry representative, Bengal Chamber of Commerce, NASSCOM, Beauty Wellness Sector Skill Council, and TSA team. So it was a very fruitful discussion, and we are looking forward to join hands with various industries in coming future. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. For the time being, we are now signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
क्या सीखा भाई?